everybody, how you doing? It's me again, Truth Teacher, and I'm coming at you with another video. Like you, like all of us, I'm in the process of experiencing this global situation that we have with us today, and I'm dealing with it. But I gotta be honest with you. There's pluses. I see it as a combination of pluses and minuses. Of course, one of the minuses is, the tragic, catastrophic loss of life that has unfolded. So many people that I know have lost, relatives or friends to this thing. And that was a wake-up call for me because when it first came out, I gotta be honest. I was in denial. I didn't. Well, not so much that I was in denial as much as I just didn't know what to believe because unfortunately our media today has become so saturated with sensationalism that oftentimes it's hard to tell what's really factual from what's just, a lot of hoopla. But when I started hearing from people in my social circles that knew people who were passing away or who were sick themselves, then it really hit home that this thing was real. One of the benefits, I guess, to all of this, and for me personally, is just, they say when you're dealing with a difficult situation, try to find a silver lining in the cloud. And for me, one of the silver linings was just giving myself a chance to rest, on so many levels. It's very quiet, because everyone is staying home and people aren't rushing back and forth. And so my environment, my neighborhood, I'm not experiencing as much noise and confusion happening outside my window as I used to. Or even, like every morning I get up and I go take a walk. There's a certain amount of calm and tranquility that wasn't there before. And it's allowing me to heal myself emotionally because for the past couple of years, I've really been going through hell, my personal situation with my mom and what transpired with all of that. I was really burnt out. So even though it's a terrible situation, the calm and the tranquility, and since no one can go out, there isn't the pressure on me to, I got to get something done. I got to get here. I got to get there. So it's allowing me to let my mind rest and recuperate. But one of the negatives, apart from the obvious, is being bombarded with all the emails and all the texts and videos of conspiracy theories and false remedies. And one of the things that I'm seeing on a regular basis is, two things. Number one, people asking, why is God allowing these things to happen to us? And on the other hand, a lot of people in the fundamentalist churches, saying, well, this is it. This is the apocalypse is upon us, and this is God's punishment that we're experiencing. And I'm a little sensitive to that because I haven't gone into it in great detail, but I did grow up in the Pentecostal church. I was Catholic before that, but then we converted to Catholicism. And it was not a very positive experience for me. It was a very damaging experience, and I struggled for many, many years to heal from what I experienced. And in a lot of ways, I still am in the healing process. So I know that world very well, unfortunately. And I know that there are people, for a fact, that are rejoicing over what's happening now because they see it as God's judgment. So, it leads me to address this question. Is this virus God's punishment? And even though I'm not a Christian, I have to look at the situation objectively, and I have to come to the conclusion that no, this is not God's judgment. I don't see how we can implicate God in this situation when, as far as I'm concerned, this is a mess that we ourselves have created, right? Now, whether you believe that this was something that is man-made or something that's natural, quite honestly, personally, my own personal opinion is I do believe that this is something that was man-made. Do I believe that this was spread into the environment purposely? I wouldn't go that far with it, but I definitely have a feeling that this is a result of some kind of experimentation that went wrong, and accidentally got out into the environment. I definitely do believe that. But even putting that aside, just looking at the fallout from the situation, you just can't escape the fact that this is a situation that we have created, right? I mean, it's not like we didn't know that this was a possibility. We did know. And with all the knowledge that we had, what did we do to prepare ourselves for it? We did absolutely nothing. When that country where it all began, they knew about it from as early as November of last year. And what did they do about it? Did they alert the public? Did they take measures to isolate it? No, they absolutely didn't. As a matter of fact, they did the complete opposite. They denied that it was a problem. They denied that it was communicable when they knew for a fact that it was. They knew it. But they chose not to say anything because they were afraid that the government would lose face, their government. And they encouraged people to go along, business as usual. And then when the other countries around the world, they found out about this, it's like we were watching as this was happening. Why didn't we secure our borders in time? Why didn't we shut down travel? Why didn't we take the measures that were necessary that we could have done? It was within our power. It was within our power to address the situation, to make sure that it didn't spread. Why didn't we take those measures? Because we were afraid of losing money, because, we had all these different reasons, because we didn't stop and think it out. What sense does it make to have money, all the money in the world, if you're dead and you can't spend it? We didn't think things out. So we let it go until the whole shit exploded, and then we get caught there with our pants around our ankles, and we're running around trying to fix it. We should have been prepared for this at least 5 years ago because we knew it was coming. We knew the possibility existed. But we chose to ignore it. We chose to, out of sight, out of mind, yeah, whatever, you know? A lack of wisdom on our part. So even if this was not man-made, right? Even if this was something that was occurring, normally in the environment, okay, some kind of virus and it mutated. Even if that was the case, what did we do? We sat on our asses and we watched it unfold. We sat here with our eyes open, wide shut. So if that's the case, how can you blame God for that? You know, it's like you have a little kid and you tell the kid, look, you're in the kitchen, you got the fire, you got the stove on. Don't go over there. Don't touch the fire, because if you do, you're going to get burned. If the kid goes over there and sticks his hand in the fire and he gets burned, is that a punishment? Or is that a consequence of your own action, a negative consequence of your own action? Nobody told you to go stick your hands in fire, but you went ahead and you wanted to do it anyway, and now you're burning, you're bawling because your hand is burning off, and you want to blame God. Why did God do this to me? God is punishing me. Why did God allow this to happen to me? Ain't nobody told you to go over there and play with fire. You did that. That was your decision. And likewise, we are dealing with a situation now that is the consequence of our collective decisions. This is not God's fault. This is not God's punishment. This is a consequence of our own negligence because we haven't been taking care of the world that we live in. We haven't been paying attention. We haven't been taking it seriously. We have been so arrogant and so self-impressed with our technology, our level of technology, that we think we're above it all. We think that we're above the limitations of nature. We don't see ourselves as being part of nature, part of the fabric of nature. We see ourselves as being the master. We see ourselves as being above. We're above it all. Our own arrogance. And now look, a microscopic life form has practically brought the whole world to its knees. How is that God's fault? It's not God's fault. If we had taken the time to honor the planet that we've been given the opportunity to live in, finding ways of making our technology compatible with the environment, with all the forces of nature, making sure that we maintain that balance, would we be in the situation that we're in now? If we valued each other the way we should and see each other in this world as being necessary and important, and we had created social systems to guarantee that everybody's needs are met and that everybody had the ability to contribute meaningfully in society, would we be in the situation that we're in now? No, we wouldn't. But you see, we think we're above it all. We think we're above nature. We think we're above our neighbors and the people around us. I'm better than this one, and I'm better than that one. I got more money than you, and you're looking down your nose. You think that, you think that the sun rises and sets on your ass, because you got more money in your bank than the next man. But now we're all forced to disengage from the world, and now you're sitting there with your business and you're going under because those people that you were looking down your nose on, they can't come to your store and give you, spend their money with you anymore. You took it for granted. Instead of being humble and instead of having gratitude, you look down your nose on them. And you did everything that you could to rip the ass out of them, jacking up your prices higher than you needed to. Because why? Because you thought you could. Raising the rents sky high. Why the hell do rents have to be so damn expensive? We created these systems. So you exploited people, sucked them dry, bled them dry in so many different ways. And now you're stuck up shit's creek. Because people can't afford to pay those exorbitant rents, rents that you were charging. And you can't kick them out into the street. So now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I have a friend that worked in one of these shishi boutiques, down in Soho, the kind that, if you came in and you didn't have the right look, well, guess what? They went under. That business has had to fold. Why? Because people can't come and spend their money with you now. Those same people that you would be, all shady and arrogant to and, have something smart to say. Now look at you. So if anything, I wouldn't say this is a punishment from God, but I would say that this is a lesson. This is a wake-up call for us. This is an opportunity for us to get it right. I don't know. Maybe we'll get it right. I hope that we do. Because believe you me, this isn't going to be like a one-off. This is, we're going to have other events coming along because we're not doing the right thing. We have thrown the world, the natural world, and our social world so far out of balance. We're vulnerable. This kind of lifestyle that we're living, this shit is not natural. This is not normal. I mean, do we grow the food that we eat? How many things that we have that we just take for granted? And the people who provide those things to us, we take them for granted. You want to look down your nose at those migrant workers that are picking those vegetables. Oh, I don't have to do that work. Yeah, well, guess what? What the hell is going to happen if this shit really gets really worse than what it is now and there's nobody in those fields picking them strawberries, picking those fruits, picking those vegetables? Yeah, those poor people that you look down your nose on, oh, those illegals. Yeah. What happens when they can't do that work that you consider to be so demeaning and degrading? What happens to us? So instead of having respect for everybody in society and recognizing that everybody's role in the society is vital and necessary, you want to be on over here on this shit. Well, now you're seeing it. I don't want to be with that one. I don't want to be with that one. I don't like this one. I don't like that one. Well, now you can't be with anybody. You happy now? How you like it? How you like it? You must be real happy. It must be real good. I don't like this one. I don't like that. Well, now you have to stay your ass at home. You happy now? So I think that we need to step up to the plate, and instead of blaming God and asking, why did God allow this to happen to us? How about we change that a little bit and we show our gratitude for the fact that we've been given, first of all, we've been given this life experience. And second of all, that we have been given this beautiful planet to live in, to be our home. And recognize the fact that we are all vital. We are all necessary. We are all important. We are all necessary to the fabric that keeps life together and civilization running together. How about we get off our high horse and we use some of this brain power to figure out a new system that honors the sanctity of everybody's life? How about we do that and see if maybe the outcome will be better than what we're experiencing now? Just a suggestion. And them's my thought. So everybody, love life, peace and prosperity to everybody. Peace, and I'll see you next time.